I had enough trashing women. I'm going to trash some men now. I was in the city the other day with my girl, and we were walking around, and we were going through, what's those, you know those, every city has them, right? Where it's like those artsy streets or laneways that's just got cafes on either side. It's like a whole tourist attraction, and it's really nice to walk through, and it's really nice to eat there until you get charged $30 for a piece of toast. You know those ones? And we were walking down one of these laneways, and it was during the day. We were going somewhere, so those guys with the menus aren't outside during the day. But the streets are still really packed because it's kind of like a tourist attraction, and lots of people eat there. And how the laneway was laid out is it's a really wide street, and it's got restaurants either side, and then in the middle it's like tables and chairs where all of the customers eat, so you can kind of eat in the sun. And we were walking down the laneway, and there were three, like, 40-year-old fucking Italian-looking European dudes, and they were sitting at the tables, and one of them had a bongo drum, the other guy had a fucking tambourine, and then the third guy had, like, a fedora on, but he was wearing it like he was a European. Like, basically the only people who can wear fedoras and not look like virgins are European tan Italian guys. And they're like, oh, okay, he's not a virgin, he just looks like a date rapist. You know, it's a little bit better, but still not the best choice of headwear, right? And these three dudes, one of them's playing the fucking bongos, the other one's smashing a tambourine in time, and all three of them are singing in Italian, and everyone is just fucking standing around them and watching, and it clogged up the whole street, and Jasmine is like, oh wow, they're singing, that's great, isn't that great? I'm like, no, they're not singing. Well, they are singing, but they're sitting at a cafe and blocking a whole... They're just attention seeking. That's what they're doing. Dude, who the fuck does that? And it clogged up the whole street. And what shit me the most is it was very clear that none of them had ordered any food. They just had, like, cups of coffee, and all of the cups were empty, right? So they'd clearly been there for a very, very long time. The restaurant staff the tables they were sitting at, the restaurant staff was standing at the doorway watching them, really fucking angry because these guys have been here for so long singing and putting on a fucking show that nobody asked for. And they've clogged up the whole street to the point where the restaurant can't get any customers because no one can move through on that side because everyone's standing around these three Italian fucking nuisances singing a dumb song just so people will look at them and they can be the guys that sing a song at a fucking wanky cafe. And Jazz is just like, oh my God, isn't that lovely? How could you not like that? I'm like, dude, because that's the shittest thing ever. Who the fuck, how did they organize that? Because it obviously wasn't like a spontaneous thing like they were making it out to be. What they were trying to do was like a fucking romantic comedy thing where they're all sitting around having lunch and there's like a couple sitting next to the Italian dudes, and then all of a sudden the Italian dudes go, oh, you are on a date. Hey, let us make it more romantic for you. Oh, when the moon hits your eye, like, and then some cunt pulls bongos from nowhere, and the other guy gets a tambourine out of his fucking urethra and starts bashing it, and then it's like, oh my God, this is so spontaneous and romantic, but that's not how it happened, is it? No, that's not what fucking happened. And Jazz was like, why can't you just enjoy the magic? Like, there's no magic here, all right? One of the guys was like, called his fucking friend. This is how it went down. One of the guys calls his friend and he's like, hey, Tom, you still got your bongos? Yeah, mate. I've always got my bongos. They're just under the stairs at the moment. Yeah, sweet. All right, hang on. I'm just gonna patch in Dave. Hey, Dave, you there? Yeah, mate. G'day, Tomo and Robbo. right? I don't know why I've given these guys Australian names, because they're very European and Italian, and they also have Australian accents at the moment, but by the time they get to singing, they'll turn back Italian, all right? It doesn't have to make sense. It's a fucking podcast, all right? Sue me. Hey, Tomo, I've also forgotten whose name is who and who plays what. Hey, Tomo, you got your tambourine? Yeah, mate, I'm just keeping it in my urethra here. Yeah, sweet, awesome. Good on you, jingly dick. All right, boys, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a cafe and we're going to sing some songs. Because, dude, they obviously they were making it out like it was a spontaneous thing, but 3 dudes don't know an hour's worth of songs. Like, all of them collectively. Like, separately, they might know 3 hours of songs off by heart, but collectively, you would have to be like, oh, we're going to sing this one, then we'll sing that one, then we'll sing this one, and then everyone would have to learn the lyrics, and fucking old mate would have to figure out when he's going to do his fucking bongos when that happens, and then the tambourine guy, you don't really have to learn how to play the tambourine, you're just going to be like, oh, no, hey, no. Hey, and that's all you got to do, right, for a tambourine. But, yeah, they would have had to learn the lyrics, and then they went there, and then they all spent $4 each, and then they basically cost the restaurant $1,000. And they sung a fucking song and congested the entire street just so people would look at them and think that they were spontaneous. I just don't know what possesses people to do that shit. Like, fucking do it on the grass. Or get a busking license and do it in a place that isn't going to ruin, like, 3 businesses worth of trade for a whole fucking hour. Don't just sit there and pretend like you're from some fucking romantic comedy based in Vienna where all of the characters break out in song every time the girl has a fucking orgasm. It's like, I don't know. Really thinking about it, I don't know why it annoyed me so much, but it did. It's out of my system now. So, you know, moral of the story is never sing or enjoy your day with your friends because it might piss off one guy. Really, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm pulling from my own fucking rant.